So to go ahead and get started, I'm just of course clipping my hair out of the way. Now I just want to quickly say I did self-tan, so if you notice that I'm a little darker and more bronzed, then that's why. I'll link down below what I used. I'll just list it in the products used list. So then to start, I'm going to put my foundation, and I'm going to use L'Oreal's N3 because it was pretty much the only thing that matched this color right now. So we're going to go ahead and move on to the eyes, and I'm going to put on some shadow shields just because this is more of a dramatic look. I don't want any fallout, and shadow shields are awesome because they really protect from fallout, and not only that, they help to get that really nice sharp line when you're applying your eyeshadow, so it helps it make it look so much more like well done and perfect and just super dramatic. So I'm priming my eyes with MAC Soft Ochre, and my brows are already done with the Anastasia Dip Brow in dark brown. So taking my Too Faced Chocolate Bar palette, I'm going to be using all of the shadows from here today, and I'm taking those two shades right there, mixing them together, and using them as a transition just in the crease with my E40 brush. I'm just kind of fluffing it around, being really loose with it, and using that as a transition. And then I go ahead and take this maroon color and I take a Morphe brush. I'll leave it down below. It's just like a more tapered version of the E40, and it's really great for applying color, but still blending it out, but being a little bit more precise than the E40 is. I really, really love this brush. So I'm just putting that into the crease and blending it out. And then with the E40, I'm just blending it out again just to make sure there's no harsh lines. And then I'm taking a black eyeshadow from Wet n Wild, and I'm taking an E25 from Sigma, and I'm just putting that in the outer corner part of the crease. I'm not bringing it down into the V. I'm keeping it in the crease, but I'm just putting it on that outer part of the crease. I'm just blending it out a little bit. You don't want to blend it out too much because then that's when black can start to look more bruised than anything. So apply the color and blend a little bit. And then I'm going to take this color right here, this white color, for my brow bone as well as my tear duct. So now for the glitter, I'm using Lit Glitter in the shade Beach Baby, and I'm also using the glitter adhesive that comes with it. First, I just put it on this kind of really flat brush and put the adhesive on the back of my hand, dip the brush in it, and then put the adhesive on my lid, and then dip the brush in the glitter and put the glitter on my lid, and just really packed it on the way you see me doing right here. I also went on top of it a couple times just with the glitter and kept on packing more and more glitter just to make sure it was really full coverage. I didn't want a slight specks of glitter. I really wanted a full coverage glitter lid. Next, I just made sure to let it dry, and then you'll notice afterwards that I check if it's dry first before I go ahead and start blending onto the crease again. So as soon as it's dry, then you're good to go. So now I'm going to be doing basically the crease all over again. I know, fun. But you basically just want to build up the colors again because sometimes they can get kind of lost after you put on the glitter. So I just went ahead and took this tapered brush by Sigma. I can't remember the exact name of it, but it's the small tapered brush. And I'm just putting on that maroon shade onto the crease. And then I take the two transition shades again on an E40 and just fluff it right above that just to help blend everything out and extend that transition again. Because like I said, sometimes it can get lost underneath all that glitter. And then I took a little bit of the black again with the E25 and put on a little bit more just in that outer part of the crease and then blended it inwards. Just a little bit, not too far in. And then I took an E38, which is a diffused crease brush, and just really blended everything out just to make sure that it was all blended and there was no harsh lines. So now is when you can take off your shadow shields, and you'll notice how it has that perfect line, and I absolutely love it. I just take the E38 again and blend everything out one last time to make sure there's no harsh lines on the crease. And then onto the rest of the face, I am putting on some concealer. This is Maybelline Fit Me in the shade 15, and I'm just putting a bunch of that on because you guys know I'm a concealer junkie. And then I'm blending it out with my Morphe. I believe this is the G2 brush, and I've been loving this for concealer, so I'm just using that to blend it out. And then I take my Sigma Precision brush just to really get in there and make sure that the line remains perfect with the concealer. So I love that brush for that. And then taking the banana shade from the Anastasia contour palette, I am setting my under eye. To set the rest of the face, I'm taking my MAC Studio Fix powder in the shade NW22. Luckily, it matched me this tan because it is a shade darker than I used to be, so it still matched me, thank God. And then I'm bronzing on my face with my Too Faced Milk Chocolate Bronzer and my Walmart Stippling Spa Resource Brush that I absolutely love. It just gives you that flawless bronzer application. A bunch of you guys were super interested in it when I mentioned it in my last tutorial. And this one, you guys were asking what brand it is. It's by Spa Resource from Walmart, and I really, really have been loving it. I'm also taking that on my temple and my forehead and just around the perimeters of my face. And then to contour, of course, I'm taking Fawn from Anastasia Contour Kit, and I'm just really chiseling these cheekbones, making a straight line and then bouncing it up and down just so that it gradually blends and it's not just too harsh of a line. And then I'm going to take my favorite blush of all time, the Benefit Dallas blush, and I absolutely have been loving it. You guys can see for yourself here how flawless of a color application it gives me. It gives me a beautiful pop of color as well as an extended bronze. And then for that beautiful highlight and glow, I'm taking Becca's Opal. We all need that beautiful glow during the holidays, and Becca Opal is definitely going to give you that. So I'm just putting that on the tops of my cheekbone as well as that C part right around the brow. And then back to the eyes for the lower lash line, I'm mixing in those two transition shades that I use and just putting that really thick on the lower lash line. I'm putting it on thick so that it actually shows up. A lot of the times you might be afraid to put on a thick lower lash line, but if you think of it, it won't really show up too much if you don't make it nice and noticeable underneath your lashes. So, and then I also mixed the maroon shade in there a little bit just to warm it up. As always, taking my Rimmel Kohl in black, I am tight lining on the top, and then later on I also tight lined on the bottom as well. So taking some liquid liner and mascara, I went ahead and did that off camera as well as applied some lashes. These are Cocoa lashes in the shade, or sorry, in the style Goddess. And then I am muting out my lips with my MAC Studio Fix powder and then putting on my lipstick. I chose to use MAC's Blankety. This is an absolute gorgeous color for this look. It's this really cool tone, grayish, pinky, mauve-y kind of very pale nude, and I really loved it paired up with this glitter smoky eye. So I hope you guys enjoyed my dramatic version of my holiday glam look. I'll link the simple version down below, but this is the dramatic smoky eye glitter version. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys. Mwah. If you're receiving a bunch of negative comments on your videos or on your social media, whatever it is,